Good evening, everybody, and welcome to DW Randomizer. Alongside my partner in the booth, Edgeworth, I am Diabetes II, and tonight we will be bringing you the third place race in the 2022 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament between Big Slamoo and dk9146. How are you doing tonight, Edge? How are you feeling the hype?
I am. I'm doing well tonight, and I'm excited to be able to commentate such a good match. Slamu and DK are fantastic runners, and this is a winner-take-all race. So for the bronze, so it's high stakes, and I'm hoping for high excitement too.
Yeah, I agree. This really should be a prime matchup, although that's basically been every pairing of the brackets, to be perfectly honest. We got two top-tier runners, took very similar paths to the semis, and both were narrowly defeated in their bids to make the finals, and that's why they're here today. So quickly for the uninitiated, as is the story of Dragon Warrior, our primary objective today is to find and defeat the Dragon Lord who has stolen the magical ball of light that bestows peace upon the kingdom of Alefgard. To do so, the hero will collect several key items in order to make the rainbow drop, build a bridge granting access to Charlotte Castle. Along the way, the hero will fight enemies one at a time in order to gain experience and levels to get stronger, gold to purchase weapons, armor, and items to aid in their quest, and hopefully, bring home the win here for third place.
All right, and we're off. The customary 3 treasure chests in the throne room decide a lot of the opening strategy.
Interesting start here. Both of our players picking up that extra magic key that will open up the treasury and some other possible checks. We've also got the Stones of Sunlight, so quest item number 1 already in the books. Big Slamoo playing as Waluigi, DK playing as the hero of DW1.
And Big Slamoo is just gonna run right onto the overworld. Metal Scorpion is an unfortunate enemy to try to run from early on.
Yeah, DK taking the alternate approach, going back to the king, saving, and we'll check the treasury here to see what is available.
Yeah, I mean, if there's another key in there, if there's, is that actually Erdrick's? It is actually Erdrick's sword.
Well, there's that.
Wow, okay, and a gold grind as well, so how do you do this? How do you best play this? If you could find another town, maybe, in that southern grassland area that we saw on Slamu's side.
Yeah, a lot of possibilities here. Slamoo hasn't checked the treasure yet. Looks like he may be saving to check that now. DK reset out of the sword, interestingly. Maybe wants to try to keep that key access. You never know when, key access is going to be one screen away or if it's going to be a 500-step walk that you don't see for an hour and a half. So, taking the safer approach here.
Oh, I think I see what DK is trying to do is to save up enough money to maybe buy one extra key and then crack open the other door.
That would be my guess as well, especially since we do have gold in the treasury, so they can, if with 85 gold, can buy a key in the back and then use that key to get more gold. It's tough. 7 strength and no spells. It's going to be a long grind. They have the HP to potentially do it, though.
Yeah, not against this ghost fight, though. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a simple country Dragon Warrior randomizer player. I would have just taken the big stick out, and we'll figure out where keys are later.
Yeah, it's a tough call. It's interesting. Neither player checked the basement. Obviously, there's a lot of misses in terms of what could be down there, but if you have something like the Tablet Cave or the Stones of Sunlight freebie chest, either one of those could have a key or gold and make this whole thing obsolete.
Alright, so our first peek at level 2.
Oh, 11 strength certainly makes the grind up to 85 gold potentially a lot more easy.
Oh, not if you're gonna get punched in the face by that guy.
Simultaneously, Green Dragon and Goldman like 3 steps from the castle for both of our runners. Not exactly what you want to see. Goldman's great. They need the gold, but not quite that way.
Yeah, so this is an interesting starting zone. Getting those enemies that quickly. Ow. Well, we found DL2 breath as well.
Add it to the list.
But yeah, it just implies that wherever Tentagel Castle is, it's in the very corner of a zone.
Yeah, I think both of them went up slightly to the northeast, so Tantagel is likely in the northeast corner of its Zone 0. So they're probably going to stay in the forest, just to the south and west of it. Slimu getting the good news about the strength gain at level 2 there. Just a little bit behind in the EXP department, but not by much.
And we have level 3.
Big Slimu finds fire, DK finds 15 more attack power. All of a sudden, that grind for the extra key and not burning the key is looking like a Galaxy Brain play.
Yeah, a lot of strength up front. Oh, always feels bad critting at the end. But yeah, all the strength up front, you can put together the gold that you need pretty quickly.
DK picking up level 4, some moderate stat gains, but importantly, the critical spell of Radiant. That's probably gonna change his strategy, maybe? No? Or not?
If you want to do some early exploring, that's a pretty solid way to go. And yeah, 87 gold right there, so...
Yep. And right into the castle he goes. He'll go back, buy his key, burn his key, buy a key, burn it, and then get more gold to buy more keys. Did you know that money can be exchanged for goods and services?
Explain how.
Meanwhile, Big Slimu does pick up level 3 shortly here, trying to pick up level 4, and will. So he'll be right on DK's heels here, just needs to get up the cash, presumably to do the same thing that DK is doing right now, that key exchange.
Oh no. No!
I think... I'm not sure, but perhaps we have discovered something that the runners may have agreed to that comms and chat were not aware of, and could explain some of the decision-making.
What happens if you accidentally find equipment, though? Like, so they're going and punching, that's for sure. But what happens if you just accidentally find the armor?
That's a good question. We don't know exactly what parameters they may have agreed to. Could simply be no Erdrick sword, could be no Erdrick's gear altogether, but yeah, that would be pretty tough. We might see some strategic saves here and there. Could also be why the basement was not checked early on.
Oh, my wife is gonna be mad at me for signing up for this.
Alright, DK hanging out here in Zone 2, cracks level 5, gets a couple of useful spells, sleep and heal more. Stats, moderate gain, and Big Slemu does the same, just a few seconds behind. So very close here in the early going. DK making good use of those spell gains, putting the Battle Scorpions to sleep, heal mooring when appropriate. Big Slemu picking up his herbs cache and about to get a full set of keys before checking the basement. DK with the Kaishin on the Metal Scorpion for level 6. Slemu finding the Harp trade-in in the basement. And DK learns Repel among some, again, moderate stat gains, mostly in the MP department, will be helpful as he tries to potentially expand the exploration field at this point, or at least take a quick death refill since he's out of MP. One or the other, or both.
Well, whenever they find Hurt more, all these green dragons seems pretty appealing.
Whenever that is. Sometime between now and level 16, because all the spells are guaranteed by level 16. We can only hope.
Alright, let's accidentally find the armor. Nope.
Which may indicate to us that it's simply a Noerdric sword situation, hard to say. But DK kind of went in and checked there with reckless abandon, so that could be a decent assumption, or it's just muscle memory, that's also possible. Good equipment there in Coal, as well as the silver harp on the search tile. We do have access to a gold grind once we find a cave bearing at least 2 chests. So exploration in that regard may be sooner than we think.
Yeah, having a town that close south and with a quick run through the grasslands could add a silver shield fairly early. Feels kind of bad in hindsight, but what can you do?
Yeah, that's very true. We did have the opening gold grind available, and especially since the sword wasn't of tremendous concern, to be able to pick up flame sword and silver shield right off the bat. That's a little rough. I'm sure both runners are perhaps thinking that the other could have done something like that, although Slemu has yet to find the town. But DK, it's almost certainly on his mind.
Yeah, if they can find the grave or mountain cave, they'll be in pretty good shape. Hey, more DL2 breath.
Add it to the list.
Alright, well, metal slime at the end of the swamp could be a pretty nice find, but nope, running away.
Oh boy. Exploration's gonna be fun. 55. 55.
Yep, can't survive 55.
Yeah, this exploration is looking to be pretty tough here. With the castle situated as it is, it looks like we have dead ends to the west and south. The only direction that you can go is to the northeast, and not only is it swampy, it's not any of the bound zones 0, 1, and 2 that they have to navigate through. And with big enemies, not a lot of agility. We did see DK get past a stone man with the sleep spell, but barring that, that's about all they can hope for is a lucky run.
I mean, these wolves are pretty solid to get you to the next level, but it just seems like this whole start has been a slog.
Yeah, it's certainly been on the grindy side as Slamu finds the town of Cole. We'll see what he does here. Only has cash for clothes if he chooses to purchase them, which he does not. Some chatter in chat as to perhaps what are really the parameters that these runners have agreed to. We already know, or are pretty sure, no sword is on the agenda. Not sure elsewise. Both of them checked the search spot in Cole without saving or hesitating. So that makes me think equipmentless is off the table, but it certainly isn't impossible, I guess. Jacob were pointing out in chat as well. They probably wouldn't be checking the shops if they agreed to no equipment, right? Makes sense.
Alright, Slamu's trip across the swamp, see if it goes a little better. Yeah, there's another town.
And it's Keytown, so I'm sure both runners, or well, I'm sure Slamu is just super stoked that he did what he did there at the start. Finding key access almost immediately afterwards. Now the idea of doing the opening gold grind, burning the key, getting that really good equipment, really going to be on his mind, as it was probably on DK's a few moments ago.
Oh, there's the armor. Apparently we're allowed to have that.
Apparently. And there goes that idea. Maybe the idea of having fantastic equipment right off the start, not as much of a concern with the armor in hand. Still got to figure out a weapon, though. Or hurt more, you know, one of the two. Big Slamu pushing the exploration northwest of that swampy area, finding a dead end against the western edge of the map. Meanwhile, DK dedicated to the grind there in Zone 1. Decent enemy set, got the sleep spell for those metal scorpions and wolves, enough attack power to take them out, plus everything else. Built himself almost a 200 XP lead here so far.
Yeah, DK seems to be just committing to getting to level 8 and hoping that that will give him enough power or resources to do some decent exploration.
Yeah, no question. I mean, there's going to be that underlying push to try to get a gold grind going as soon as possible, just to get that Flame Sword Silver Shield combo, because they know that the gold grind is there, but with agility in the 30s and the nasty enemies that both of them have seen, it's going to be really tough to convince yourself that, you know, potentially dying over and over to do so is the right play. And DK seems to be, as you said, dedicated to that grind. Lamu, the first to turn in the harp for the staff, and going back into the castle to raid the treasury again for more herbs and gold. Interesting to see what he has planned here. We do have, I believe, full plate down to the south in coal. I didn't fully see potentially what weapons are available there in Ramulder. Could be making a play to do a quick grind here for a weapon. Oh wait, he has the Erdrick's armor, never mind. Ignore my full plate comment.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Unless you're not allowed to have it, which presumably they are since he picked it up.
Yeah, I'm curious what he has planned for this this money.
Yeah, 1100 is not enough for broadsword. Like I said, I didn't catch what was here. Could be hand axe money, and perhaps he just didn't have enough after the first pickup. Large shield. Ah. Weaponless might be the role here. A broadsword would be pretty nice about now, not gonna lie. DK, meanwhile, is filling up on keys here after getting over 3,000 gold. Probably looking for that full plate, does not know the armor and Ramulder are just around the corner.
Alright, so Garenham next to a town on Slamu's side, so we've got 2 caves that we can dig out. Magic key locked in the back there, so nice key refund. On one more freebie.
Free Stuff Cave does not disappoint. Unfortunately, that does mean that Garenham does not lead directly to a gold grind opportunity for Silver Shield.
Yeah, if only you could just throw yourself down the stairs or something.
Should I put that in discussion points for future implementation for McGrew, perhaps?
Hot damn thyself. Alright, well, this looks like a pretty good setup for Silver Shield.
Yep, looking like it. We do have quest item number 3 for Slamu, token there on the top of the grave, which was not behind Garenham, but next to it. DK picks up the full plate and large shield and gets back to the grind. Slamu trying to get away from this wizard, perhaps try to dig out the bottom 2 chests if possible, but knows that he does have a gold grind as a consolation prize, either way.
Okay, so the wraiths seem doable at least. That's a lot of heal mores left. So yeah, Slamu has everything required. That was pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, he really doesn't need to find anything else, at least in chess and search spots. He does still need to find the Rainbow Drop Turn-In and Charlock, of course. But honestly, this feels like a great opportunity to just grind away. Interestingly, does not go for the gold grind opportunity right there. Instead, exits the cave, finds another cave to the south, and it's mountain. Exits immediately, and probably looking for the jerk, one would think. Both runners being dispatched by Charlock enemies, Big Slamu by the wizard, DK by the fun police. We did see the town, again on DK's side. Appears to be heading right back into the swamp to explore. Yeah, unfortunately, that low agility just really not helping our runners with the exploration, although Big Slamu has gotten quite a bit of exploration done. I think that was the town of Garenham that DK saw but didn't get to.
So, Charlock really the only thing we're looking for here. Unless somehow this turns into a death necklace, dude.
And the drop turn-in.
Oh, right, yeah, we haven't found the jerk cave yet. I forgot that was Harp Cave in the basement.
I'll have to follow along here and see what the XP situation does. Keep in mind that DK is fighting a lot of enemies very easily, but is a lot of low-tier enemies. Big Slamu is finding some bigger things to fight, but of course is having to do exploration, run from stuff, etc. on the way. Does get the crit there against the Spectre for 47. So about a 250 XP lead for DK at the moment, as Slamu finds another town.
I wonder what they're allowed to have. maybe this is a bamboo pole only run.
You know, that did just occur to me as you said it, because Slamu knows a silver shield exists in coal. Unless he forgot, which is always possible. Not everybody takes note of absolutely everything in every shop. But it's accessible elsewhere, so that is one thing that we have not seen, is the little stick, as it were.
Well, no coordinates. That'd save some time. How about radishes? Not much to say here. DK continuing the grind has been his strategy for the last few minutes. Big Slamu continuing the exploration, fighting enemies that seem reasonable as he finds them. Spot a decent number of specters here. I mean, they're basically no threat at all, so it's a pretty solid enemy to find and fight over and over again.
Yeah, not a ton of HP. They're worth a little bit more than anything that you can find in Zone 012. Might as well. DK does pick up level 9 there, of course. Basically no agility, which is probably what he was looking for more than anything else. HP would be nice as well. Fortunately, probably feeling like, can I really sit and grind another level here? Knowing that there's a town just to the east that I've seen but haven't gotten to. And a cave.
Alright, wolf lords are pretty friendly too, so...
Yeah, Slamu's exploration, as soon as you get past that little bottleneck in the swamp where you're finding stone men, wizards, red dragons, and such, he's got a tremendous exploration lead right now over DK. Of course, DK has the XP lead, but that can all change very quickly. Slamu keeping up, just, again, taking out the enemies that he finds as they come.
Yeah, just having the armor this early is a massive advantage, and, I mean, it's going to be even nicer once, well, yeah, Slamu has 67 MP already, so plenty of sustain to keep going.
Yeah, especially in a seed where you don't have a ton of HP, you don't have the heal spell, that walking regen goes a long way to keeping you out exploring for as long as possible. Especially when you just, you know, run from everything, apparently. Including red dragons, axe knights, no big deal. 34 agility, that's plenty. It's like at least a coin flip or better, right?
Yeah, I mean, agility is just a suggestion. It works in the other direction sometimes, too.
Jacoper noting, apparently DK cast sleep on the old man in the Stones Cave. I did not see that. Classic. As our runners are going to give each other a high five in the town of Hawksness, and both of them say, yeah, no. Not without a weapon at 54 strength.
Yeah, definitely doable with Hurt More, but also not really on the table either.
I mean, theoretically, I guess, with a Stone Man, you could punch for like 30 rounds and pray.
Yeah, you just have to hope all the sleeps stay forever, right?
Exactly, right? Those coin flips gotta come up heads sometimes. Alright, another cave for Slamu. Unfortunately, it is a dark cave, meaning it is not the rainbow drop turn-in. So that would have to be Tablet or one of the ends of Swamp, based on what we've seen so far, I believe. Seems to be skirting across the northern edge of the map, trying to find Sharlock and the Jerk. Slamu's exploration bid there on the north side was cut short by a green dragon now heading south of Garenham. Continuing. DK gets the news about no coordinates, and now heads back out into the world to do, well, something.
Yeah, there's kind of a notable lack of mid-range enemies. Like there's a Druin Lord that's certainly helpful, but the Droll Magi's, the Wyverns, haven't seen those yet.
Yeah, beside the Spectre and the Wolf Lord, we really haven't, as Big Slamu takes out the Metal Slime. That's going to put a huge dent in that exploration deficit, which is now under 60, and about to get even narrower as DK takes the death to the Armored Knight. It's a huge reversal of fortune here.
Yeah, for how close the armor actually is, the longer DK goes without finding it, it's real bad. It's such an advantage.
Oh, no question. Again, we've talked about it with the walking regen, this big swamp that they're having to traverse here, and the fact that it's not that far away. He just hits this swamp and goes east every time. I think he ran into that red dragon up to the north and said, nope, I'm just not going that way. Unfortunately, Remolder is maybe a screen from that, and he's just not getting there. Do we have a Vanilla Brecconary? We do! Pole hype!
Okay.
Well... that answers some questions.
I wonder what they would have done had there not been a bamboo pole anywhere.
I would presume if there's any particular weapon that's missing, as long as they've checked everywhere, they're allowed to skip it, I guess. That would be their agreement. Have we seen a hand axe thus far? I'm sure we have to have seen a hand axe, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was one in the bottom shop in Cantlin.
Alright, fair enough. And we've definitely seen the broadsword in Mermolder and the Flame Sword in Cole. So all weapons accounted for, and of course the sword right back at home.
So yeah, I guess what's the optimal play in this situation? You just beeline for the rest of the sequence.
I mean, you'd think. It looks like that's what Slamu's going to do here. Picks up the extra gold chests. Gets up to 850, which was enough for a hand axe. Meanwhile, DK went back into the grave, dug out a couple of chests, and is now doing a gold grind, presumably for the silver shield.
Yeah, the silver shield will be a nice help for DK, but just unfortunately, the armor is the real prize. It just doesn't seem to be close to getting it anytime soon.
Yeah, he desperately needs to go north through the swamp and pick up that armor ASAP. Because Slamu, again, he's caught up on the XP front with that metal slime kill. And he's rapidly gonna pick up some weaponry here in the next few minutes, provided his luck turns around a little bit. Alright, Slamu heading north, presumably toward Caitlin to pick up his hand axe. DK dipping into the mountain cave, which he's now just found here south of Garenham, looking for that armor, looking potentially for the death necklace. See if he can get a metal slime kill of his own. Reestablish that XP lead. Unfortunately, he can't.
Alright, so... I was off by one. Looks like the hand axe was in the lock shop. Alright, there's a mountain cave sighting. Maybe we'll find the fighter's ring or the death necklace.
Gosh, the fighter's ring, that's like bamboo pole levels of attack power gains.
Well, it's really the best that DK can do right now until he finds Breckenary.
You're not wrong there. Slamu picking up his dragon scale, heading out of Cantlin. DK heading into the basement of Mountain. Remember that Slamu saw this earlier, didn't bother to check it. We'll see if he missed out on anything in particular. Again, Fighter's Ring, Death Necklace would be the two big pickups. Or potential big pickups.
I really wonder how fast this seed could have gone without the restriction. It seemed like everything just lined up beautifully to just grind and go.
It does sure seem that way. Armor not that far from home. Sword literally at home. Easily accessible at level 1. Opening gold grind. I mean, hell, if you had all the information, we'd have probably been full grind and go a long time ago. Like true, actual grind and go. Normal situation grind. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Big Slemu heading back into the grave. He's already picked these up. Presumably he's just setting up a gold grind. That way he can grind for his broadsword, flame sword, and then pick up his Erdrick sword. Mountain Cave, unfortunately for DK, was a bust. Empty chest, torches, fairy waters, nothing of tremendous significance there. Oh, and it is an important level. I bet he wishes he were able to get that just a bit sooner than he did. That could have been the advantage that he needed, learning the spell of Hurt More.
Yeah, well, let's see how much DK can take advantage of it. It really needs to be very efficient usage of this in order to make the best of it. And unfortunately, yeah, that guy seems like he's 75% deal 2 breath.
Yeah, Skeleton is a perfect enemy to fight right now. Your strength's not very good. Well, your strength's actually not bad. Your attack power kind of stinks because you're punching. But yeah, skeletons, unfriendly guys. So yeah, Slemu probably going to do his homework right now, pick up the equipment that he needs. We'll see if he elects to go for exploration versus grind. One would think that DK might have grind on the mind, as it were, with Hurt More. No, Hurt More casting on yourself, unfortunately, does not death warp you. Huh. Well, I'm seeing another potential wrinkle here. He's encountered green dragons and is not casting it, DK. So Hurtmore may also be restricted. Which is bad news for DK. Granted, Slemu's going to pick it up here momentarily, but still.
Alright, and finally, about a half hour later, DK finds Erdrick's armor. Feels bad.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest feels good, feels bad man type of situation. It's like, yeah, I found it. Oh, I could have had this 30 minutes ago. Whoops. Alright, Slamu has done all of his homework. He's traded in his hand axe for a broadsword, he's traded in his broadsword for a flame sword, and then he threw it away in favor of Erdrick's sword. So finally, 48 minutes after we saw where it was, we finally can equip it.
I feel like this was the DWR equivalent of that guy that traded a paperclip for a small house.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. What do you think we can trade to Dragon Lord for the Ball of Light?
Violence.
He just might go for that.
Oh hey, there's our wyverns. And maybe this will be a good tile to check. I am curious. Slamu has done a lot of exploration and hasn't found Charlock. Okay, never mind, there it is.
I was gonna say, ask and you shall receive. There it is. And interestingly, he did not check the spike tile. And he didn't when he saw Hawksness earlier. Now, we thought perhaps it was simply because, well, there's, like, no chance of defeating whatever's there. I wonder if the spike tiles are likely off limits as well. DK hammering down that Star Wyvern for all that time, and it's got heal? Really?
Yeah, that feels bad. Just, it's not gonna happen anytime soon. And, yeah, this, Demon Knight giving Slamu the business. Yeah, but, what's worse than Demon Knights are Axe Knights and then Armored Knights, so... yeah, that's no fun for DK either.
Just waiting for that Rainbow Drop Turn-In Cave to pop up any moment on Slamu's side. Not sure how much on the Prime Continent has yet to be explored, but there can't be too much left. I feel like he's been walking around for literally the last half hour.
Yeah, just one requirement in no man's land, and that's what you get. Oof. Slimo going back to start.
Honestly, I think he had almost walked all the way back to the Swamp Cave in Sharlock. I wonder if there... Well, you know what? He did die much earlier. Exploring to the northeast. And I wonder if the Jerk Cave is somewhere up there. Because I don't think DK is headed quite that far in that direction yet. It's the only place that I can think of that we have not seen entirely. Beta Strep noting that, yeah, desperately searching for Brecconary on DK's side. I think that's the only town he has not laid eyes on, and unfortunately, if we are correct in assuming that progressive weapons is the requirement here, which it certainly seems to be, he has to check it to be sure that there is no broadsword or bamboo pole there. We know that he's going to find the pole, the club, and the copper sword, but he can't pick up a weapon until then. And if he can't cast Hurt More, he's still in really dire straits here. He has almost no choice but to push the exploration.
Yeah, he certainly will not become a Sultan of Swing until he finds Brecconary.
And with 40 agility and 47 max HP, that certainly doesn't make things any easier either. Wizard showing off the heal more, scratch another enemy off the list of potential grind targets.
Yeah, gosh, that feels bad until you can just kind of swing through it. And by that point, you're probably ready to just kill the Dragon Lord.
Mercifully, thankfully, DK has found Brecconary.
Alright, DK, just one more gold grind to go. You can do this.
Yeah, he should have all the information that he needs. He knows where to find a broadsword, flame sword, or hand axe, broadsword, flame sword, and then of course Erdrick sword. Unfortunately, those are in 3 different towns, So that's a bit irritating, of course, but he has the information. I think the biggest problem right now is that Slamu has done all of that. The only thing he needs is the Rainbow Drop Cave, which DK also needs, and DK has just unfortunately got also a pretty big exploration deficit still to overcome. Hilo correctly pointing out that we still don't know if anything unforeseen is still planned here. We only know what we've seen, and gosh knows, Charlotte could be its own set of interesting parameters that these runners have set out for themselves. So we will be finding out along with you any other shenanigans that will be heading our way. So DK is not out of it yet, although Slamu seems to have taken a pretty sizable lead at this point. He just really needs to find a spot to settle down once he gets his Rainbow Drop turn-in completed.
Uh-oh. DK is about to find the bad news. Well, Slamu gets real good news here. He can proceed with playing the rest of the game now.
DK living up to his just crit mentality. Why, don't worry about the heal more on the wizard, if just crit through it, no big deal. But yeah, Big Slamu finding the Rainbow Drop, that's really going to accelerate things here. He truly is grind and go at this point. We'll just have to see what else they have in store for us.
Yeah, it seems like with level 11 and heal more that some of these enemies would definitely be doable, but gosh, the HP is still so low.
Yeah, depending on the roles, still being in a position where you are able to be two-shot, so you're basically treating every Sharlock enemy as a Dragon Lord fight. Heal more swing, heal more swing. It's just so inefficient. I thought Big Slamu might give the Golem a try there. He does have the flute, 48 HP, or... It's not a ton. He still can be two-shot. Again, there could be further restrictions than we're aware of. Maybe not only can you not grind on the spike tiles, you also can't kill those enemies. Which
oh gosh. Yeah, DK just took a huge time loss there. Giant pile of money in inventory, but couldn't get away from the... I think that was an armor knight.
Yeah, and he was just a couple of steps, I think, away from Caitlyn there, unfortunately. It's... Oh boy. Everything has just seemed to not go his way so far in this race. Or, you know, you could just, like, hero walk the whole way. That works, too. So, TK, try number 2. The walk was about a quarter of the length, and he's already there.
Alright, so on average, you make it there half the time.
Sounds reasonable. It's like everything else in this game. It's coin flip. Sometimes you flip tails 8, 10, 12 times in a row. Sometimes, you know, things actually work out 50-50. I was gonna say a small time save for DK, having been able to do the full grind for all the equipment at once, whereas Slamu sort of did things incrementally, but unfortunately he left himself a couple hundred gold short of the 9,800 needed for the Flame Sword, having to sell off keys, herbs, and other things in his inventory to hit that 9,800 number.
Oh gosh, that feels real bad.
Unfortunately, the radishes were just too expensive. Yeah, so small optimization there for DK able to... I didn't note that there was a broadsword there. There was in the bottom shop, it seems. So all 3 were able to be purchased here. So that is an advantage over Slamu, who took a little bit longer. However, again, just a big deficit here. One thing DK can do that will, or could, put a dent in this EXP deficit that he now has of about 1,000, is to pick a better grind zone than Slamu does. Or get Dragon Lord Breath. That's also a possibility. That doesn't help.
Oh, it's another enemy with that. Oh, goodness. Well, I mean, that'll get you back to the castle faster to get the sword.
Strategic Death Warp. I like it. It's another optimization. We in the comms booth, we just... The Galaxy Brain plays just keep coming and we just try to keep up. Alright, Blue Dragon takes out Big Slamu as DK takes out the Green Dragon, gets the level 11 agility gain that really would have been helpful in all of his walking around a few minutes ago. Now, both runners now fighting Sharlock enemies, specifically Spike Tile enemies, at least found on the overworld, so perhaps that was not a restriction placed, as we hypothesized previously.
I think it was just a very, very difficult. It's very difficult to kill Sharlock enemies when you only have 48 HP. I mean, Slamu, even with the 55, that gives you enough breathing room to maybe get a swing in and then a heal more.
Yeah, it's dicey for sure, and I think that's why he died to the Blue Dragon. He was trying to take it out and unfortunately got punched a little too hard. So that can happen.
Oh, well, finally some good news. The Red Dragon decided to breathe fire.
And some bad news, because it also decided to cast Heal More.
Oh.
Ah, the game trolls at every turn.
Alright, Slamu gets another one.
See where Slamu is headed next in his grind mode play. Perhaps thinking that, yeah, red dragons are, you know, nice, or would be nice if I had Stop Spell, but trying to find a better zone here. Werewolves are a pretty good play. Right next to a healing town as well.
Our plus in, we're gonna have a look at the Spike Tile. Hey, Green Dragons. This is pretty solid. It's Green Dragons all the way down.
It's amazing. Neither of them checked either Spike Tile until literally 5 seconds apart from one another. They each checked a different one. Amazing. $3,701 for Slamu at level 13. Still maintaining about a 1,500 XP lead over DK. DK still does need to find the Jerk Cave and do the Rainbow Drop. Turn in Sharlock, of course, just on the other side of the Swamp Cave, which he's in currently. Are we back? Are we back? We might be back. We might be back. Let's see. Let's see.
Alright, so Slamu is opening up quite a big lead here, just sitting down on this tile. It's almost 3,000 at this point.
Alright, we're back on the air, baby. Let's go. So what did we miss in the last 10 minutes? We have missed Slamu hammering away at Green Dragons in Hawksness, and DK just... oh man, what a seed this has been for DK. It's just been kind of unlucky event after unlucky event. Still out exploring right now, looking for the Jerk Cave. Hopefully he can locate it here soon. Get back to that grind. Unfortunately, the deficit in EXP has just ballooned to almost 3,000 in the last few minutes.
Yeah, if DK's gonna have any chance, he really needs to find the drop turn in very soon, and I don't know, maybe it would just be better to go grind and then maybe one level before go look for the drop. I mean, you're burning daylight here.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it looks like perhaps that's what he's decided to do here finally. I mean, he has gained a bunch in the way of agility in the last couple of levels that he picked up, so it's certainly helping. But with HP in the mid-50s, I think sitting to the grind, which you know is here, available, consistent, makes the most sense. Slamu with another barn burner of a level there at level 15. Chat noting 2650. Just spot on. Who needs HP?
So does anyone have any Green Dragon facts?
Fresh out of Green Dragon facts, I think I only have Agama facts. Saika in the chat coming up with one for us. Did you know, Edge, that green dragons, unlike their blue and red counterparts, are in fact green?
Oh, I mean, that's a good thing to know. There have definitely been instances of deceptive names in the animal kingdom, and it's good to know that at least this one is consistent.
Betastrup with another one for us, reminding us that the green dragon is in fact the swamp guardian, very much as it is in vanilla. Does that mean, since it's not randomized in the seed, that we have to reseed?
No, we can just, I don't know, complain about Fred and then get on with our day.
Fair enough, fair enough. I suppose an hour and 26 minutes is not the optimal time to make that observation.
Alright, DK has to stop for gas, but unfortunately runs into an armor knight. Oh. Alright. Survive that one.
That's about the first stroke of luck for him in like the last, 55 minutes? Alright, Big Slemu on the verge of hitting the next big juncture here, level 16 at 9,750 XP.
Yeah,
From there we will know a little bit more about what's to come. In terms of
those
grind.
stats do not look good for any sort of grind stopping right here. So unless we get the best level known to man, I'm gonna be here for a while.
Yeah. We only need like 35 HP and 15, 20 strength. It's probably right around the corner.
Alright, 21 HP. We're in business.
That's more than the 0, 1, or 2 that I was expecting.
I mean, out of all of the lag stats to pop, that's probably one of the more welcome ones, because between your heal mores being max efficiency now and potentially damage breaking green dragons, you're in pretty good shape to just hang out here for a while.
Yeah, the agility gains the last couple levels for Slemu basically means at this stage he can pretty much stay here and grind indefinitely, so DK will still have to dip to heal here and there. Doesn't have the HP quite yet, not defense breaking greens by a couple of defense points. He will, I believe, at level 14. But yeah, the grind is just going to continue, now about 3,600 between these two runners, so that just the lead just continues to drift further and further to favor Slemu here. For anybody who may not have seen how that lead just came into existence, Edge, do you want to give us maybe a little bit of a summary of what's happened over the last 90 minutes now?
Yeah, so I would say about the biggest, well, the biggest moments in this race have been Slamu finding Erdrick's armor way earlier than DK and just kind of leveraging the increased defense and passive healing to stock up a major exploration lead. And then, as a result of that, finding Brecconary first and unlocking the progressive weapons that were agreed to prior to the race. So, as soon as he found that bamboo pole, it was off to the races to go get Erdrick's sword, which was at the start of the game, but unusable.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. I mean, DK did have a bit of a lead on the EXP side of things. I mean, he dedicated himself to the grind early. When he tried to push out for exploration, it just didn't work for him. Ran into Sharlock enemies. We had very poor agility. Not that he has great agility now, but at least it's passable. But just running into wizards, red dragons, stone man, anything that could really be an obstacle. And unfortunately for him, for Mulder, with the armor was not that far from home. Slamu just got to it with, gosh, 30 minutes advantage, as it turned out, something like that.
Yeah, it was an incredibly long time, and yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of luck for DK to jump back into this, but as we know, we haven't seen what lives in Sharlock yet. And that can easily flip a seat on its head.
It absolutely can, and as we've been saying kind of all along here, we aren't 100% sure what these runners have agreed to. We've found out some things along the way here. Aggressive weapons, and no using of the spell of Hurtmore, apparently. At least so far. It's not to say that Hurtmore won't come into play at some point. We will have to see. Slamu now one green dragon away from level 17. We'll see just how much closer he gets to go stats. Welp, that was a solid goose egg on the strength front, but 10 HP gets them at least into the 90s. So that's a plus. Progress, kind of. But still, the Green Dragon grind will continue at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere on that front. Yeah, Slamu finally may have to actually take a pit stop here.
Yeah, that allowed DK to just briefly kind of cut into that EXP lead here, but again, it's going to be transient because he is also kind of running out of resources. And with that very low max HP still, not having had the gains from level 16, 17, it's really inefficient use of the heal more. He is smartly leveraging the heal spell where he can. Just a reminder for everybody, this is the third place race for the 2022 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament. Big Slamu, dk9146. I am Diabetes II in the booth here with Edgeworth. We've got Flower Power on the restream, Venicus pushing the buttons, showing all the icons and numbers there at the bottom. And it's certainly been a race here. We've got some custom agreements with progressive weapons, no hurt more usage, at least thus far, and it's been an interesting experience, I think, for all of us learning about what's going on in the seed as it happens.
Oh, there's the same Armor Knight that was giving DK the business before, and yeah, Slamu just decides, I'm going to swing through this jerk, and yeah, that didn't quite work out. So, be not a trivial walk back, so a little bit of time for DK to catch up.
It's not a lot. He's going to need a lot of those little gains. Like, a lot. But again, we don't know what Sherlock has in store for us, whether self-imposed or otherwise. And since this is the third place race, taking a quick look at what got Slamu and DK to this spot, starting with Big Slamu, captured the number 6 overall seed in the qualifiers with 2 seed victories out of 5, very impressive. He also took second in the Mandradraki group, finishing 6-1 with wins over Cyberdark, Gambit, Ladab, Marashu, Barbaloot, and Stags. His sole loss was to number 11 Tilo Tilo, who took the top spot in that group by virtue of the head-to-head tiebreaker. 2-0 over Guelph in the round of 24. 2-0 over what was this guy? Diabetes Deskund? I don't know, some guy. And then a sweep over Ziggy in the quarterfinals. 1-2 against Angel in the semifinals. He took race 1, but unfortunately for him, in the final 2 races, Angel got the better of him and moved on to the finals. DK, on the other hand, captured the overall 5 seed, just 1 point separating these 2 runners in the qualifiers. 3 top 5 finishes for DK. First place in the Magician group, finishing a perfect 6-0 with wins over Ferran, Angry Canuck, Tristal, Ursine, Yakko Wacko, and Z. Because of his first place finish, got the bye in the round of 24, went 2-0 against Jay Coper, 2-0 against Aaron 2U2 in the quarterfinals, but was swept by Tilo Tilo in the semis. So, interestingly there, Tilo Tilo did take out both of these runners in their head-to-head matchups, and Tilo Tilo and Angel will be facing each other next week in the grand finals, best of 3. I believe that's going to be starting Wednesday night next week. Probably right here on a DW Randomizer. So look forward to that. Alright, Big Slamu cracking level 18, getting a solid 1 strength. So not much there. Does get HP that looks to be Dragon Lord safe, but unfortunately the attack power just not quite there yet at 121. Taking a look at the stats. Numbers in white we don't really think of as quite ready yet. Orange numbers getting into the range, and green usually go mode-ish, depending on the situation. And that 121 attack bar is not quite there yet. XP deficit for DK basically unchanged with Big Slamu's death to that Armored Knight. On our side, of course, kind of hoping we could see this narrow down just a little bit. Unfortunately, only about 100 to 150 XP change, so not much for DK. DK was still dealing with that low HP, had to refill and can't lend himself. So still about a level and a half behind. Level 19 on the horizon for Big Slamu at 16,500 XP, and then add 3,000 for any level needed after that. Hopefully it's not too many more. Still lacking in the strength department, plus we don't know if there are any further restrictions on our runners for level needed or any shenanigans that have to take place on the Dragon Lord, so we shall see what happens.
I mean, there's certainly lots of interesting things you could do in the DL fights. Like, I don't know, maybe you have to kill DL1 with fairy water. Like, who knows?
Yeah, there's definitely some things in play. We just don't know. Could be fairy water, could be throwing a torch, could be landing a hurt pour, or a hurt, or a sleep, or who knows. But that is probably, that unknown factor is probably the biggest thing keeping DK in this at the present moment. If this were just a normal situation, Slamu would seem to have a fairly insurmountable lead, but whenever you throw in DWR, Charlock, and then some gentleman's agreement for some of these challenge mode selections here for our runners, you never know what can happen. Oh boy. Slamu finds level 19 has not much.
Look, it's all green and orange. Just go.
That's probably fine.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll get a lot of doubles, right?
At 98, for sure.
Just go get a gallon of fairy water and slosh your way to the castle. What could go wrong?
Some questions in the chat here regarding potential go stats. I mean, honestly, if you look at the numbers, they're not as bad as one might think. 126 attack power, with the potential for the Fighter's Ring to go to 128. 7 to 14, 10.5 on average, doing some Dragon Lord math. Fairy Water is available to us, potentially. The numbers do work out, but again, we're dealing with incomplete information here. We don't know what the runners have potentially self-imposed as restrictions for the Dragon Lord fight, which could mean that even though these look like go stats, they may not be. Well, raid hype. Nest Cardinality bringing 172 viewers to the stream. Welcome everybody from Nest Card's chat. I am Diabetes II here along with Edgeworth. We are here for the third place race of the 2022 DWR Summer Tournament. Big Slamu, dk9146. We seem to be in grind and go mode. Big Slamu on the verge of level 20 here. DK about now 4,000 XP behind at level 18, continuing his grind as well. Thank you, Nestcard, for sharing your stream viewers with us here. And finally, level 20. Thankfully, mercifully, has both strength and HP. And it appears that Slamu is going to be in go mode here, leaving the grind, heading over to Cantlin, picking up some fairy waters. So we could have an end in sight.
Green light, let's go.
Also noting for anybody coming over from NESCARD, yes, we are dealing with standard flags as this is part of the summer tournament, but it looks like the runners have agreed to a few things that we've noted throughout the run. Progressive weapons were in play, so the runners basically self-selected to force themselves to pick up weapons in order of strength, starting with the bamboo pole, and then ascending through the club, copper sword, hand axe, broadsword, flame sword before picking up Erdrick sword. And apparently no Herkmore allowed, which is a bit unfortunate with 2 grind tiles of green dragons accessible to the runners. Slamu the first into Sharlock at 150-50. Slamu through Zone 1 of Sharlock relatively unscathed, moving into the diamond floor. DK continuing to hack away at green dragons. Just hit level 19, gets the bad news.
Yeah, so far, initial Sharlock doesn't seem to be too threatening.
Yep, so far so good. And what we've seen of Sharlock enemies, I don't think we've noted anything particularly bad. We know that red dragons have weak fire breath and heal more, which is more irritating if you're trying to kill them than anything. Arbor Knights, I don't believe, had anything particularly scary. Golems, we haven't really seen much. Couple run fails there, but Slamu gets away. Opts not to play the flute. And bottom floor for Slamu.
Yeah, wow, that was a quick Sharlock.
Yeah, it's amazing when you've got 90 plus defense, you're repelling half the enemies, you've got repels and fairy water to spare. Casual 112 crit on the golem. Who needs the flute? Alright, Big Slamu's been declared a fool, and will face the Dragon Lord. Stop spell the first round. Good luck there. And a physical miss? Oh, come on. We gotta make this interesting. Alright, there it is. Big Slamoo, no shenanigans needed. Takes out the Dragon Lord, finishes, picks up the Ball of Light, and will report back to Lorica Hero. So get your GGs in chat there for Big Slamoo. Finish this one with an official time of 1 hour, 56 minutes, 23 seconds. We'll see if we can get Slamoo in here for some thoughts. I'm sure he has a few. And I do believe we have Big Slamoo here in the chat. GG, Big Slamoo. Congrats on the 3rd place victory. What did you think of that seed? we noticed some shenanigans were afoot.
I mean, yeah, the game was messing with us. Making us go all the way to 20 to win? That's just silly.
I think we had some questions about things that happened before that. But yeah, absolutely. This was just a grind fest of a seed pretty much from start to finish.
I don't think I've seen 560 attacks in a seed ever, so I mean, I'll take it. I'll take the W. I don't think anybody really wins this one. Felt good though. I mean, it felt like a right order everything. Honestly, Brecconary was the absolute key to unlocking that seed, so that was huge. Perfect location.
Yeah, I think Brecconary was one of the bigger sticking points for both of you as the seed progressed. I believe that was the second last location found for both you and DK before finding the Jerk Cave, which somehow was even better hidden than Brecconary. But yeah,
that was the most insane rainbow drop location ever. It was so good.
But yeah, why don't you tell us about some of these, I don't know, agreed upon modifications, challenge options that you and DK agreed to? It seemed like there was something a little funny about the way both of you started this one after finding a certain stick in the treasury.
No, we just played it straight up.
Yeah, Erdrick Sword's not even that powerful, right? Like, why rush it?
The guy was sitting on it. I couldn't get it. The guard was just on top of it, and I didn't want to waste my time, so I figured I'd get back to it.
Makes sense, makes sense. I mean, check that later. Like, I mean, I know it's free and it's there every Death Warp, and we died like 20 times, but nah.
I only died 15. Thank you very much. And only one of those was a bad death. And that was the one to the Armored Knight on that grind. I hate saying it, but I was getting so bored on that Green Dragon grind that I saw the Armored Knight. I'm like, sure, I can take him out on 49 HP. Forgetting I have 120 AP, and 3.5 swings later, I'm cursing myself and making the walk back.
Details. No big deal. So yeah, so the progressive weapons was an interesting idea. We weren't sure exactly what was going on at first. We weren't sure if it was just a no sword run, and then we saw the flame sword down there in coal once that was found, and it's like, well, that's a really expensive weapon. They could do an opening gold grind, but both of you found that after a couple levels of grinding, we thought, well, they probably don't want to reset all that progress.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I got the worst luck possible on those ghosts to start. to swing that hard on, what was it, 20? It was 32 HP, and 7 attack, and I couldn't take out a ghost.
Yeah, the early game there with 7 strength, and both of you, again, we figured it out pretty quickly, choosing to skip the sword for reasons that were later to become evident. Yeah, there was a little bit of finagling. You'd think, like you said, with 32 HP and enough attack power to at least do damage that it wouldn't be that difficult, but... And then I would imagine finding Cole there after doing a couple slow grind levels probably didn't feel the best, knowing that at least, you know, torches or something were available from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, torches would have been a little helpful, but I think we got 11 attack power on 2, so it didn't really change things.
Yeah, pretty much. Level 2, level 3 gave a bunch of strength, which pretty much negated not having the sword. But I think the big moment came about 15 or so minutes in. DK had tried once or twice to get through that swamp to the northeast, and as you did, kind of got sent back a couple of times, the wizards, the stone men, the red dragons. But you made it through, and you got to the town of Romuldar and found a certain piece of defensive equipment that really changed the tide.
Yeah.
What were you thinking at that moment?
Honestly, the Romuldar chest is usually like, I mean, I hate getting it, but you have to get it because it's one of the 27 chests in the game, so you got to do it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I really don't want this, and I pick it up and it's the armor. I'm like, okay, now I can play the game. And then I got a large shield immediately after, so I had, I mean, 50-something defense from that point on. Still wasn't enough to stop the big guys, but yeah.
Yeah, defense breaking a lot of those, basically everything 0, 1, and 2. And the walking regen, yeah, you had heal more and you had a decent pool of MP, but I mean, when you've got 35, 40 MP to like level 10, 11, 12, made a huge difference. DK, on the other hand, did not find Romuldar, got sent back by red dragons, I think twice, and didn't go back north through that swamp until like 40 plus minutes. So you had the armor for a good 30 minutes before he was able to pick it up, and I think that was probably the biggest difference here. DK dedicated to the grind early, had about a 300 or so EXP lead through about level 8 or 9, and then it just ballooned for you because you had the armor.
That's absolutely brutal, because there was, I mean, you couldn't go east there without the armor for all intents and purposes. And for him to, I mean, basically he didn't make it, what, more than 3-4 screens at that point then.
He did eventually get there past Garenham. He did full clear the mountain cave. I don't think he full cleared Grave, just the top 3, if I remember correctly.
He did that before he got the armor?
He did.
Wow.
And before he found Breckenary. I think you were the first to Breckenary as well.
Well, Breckenary was beyond Garenham, right? Garenham, go east to Grave, go down that southeast fork to Breckenary, and then, you know, 14 more screens east to the Rainbow Drop.
Yeah, something like that. So he had gone east through the swamp and found a lot of that stuff. Not Breckenary at first, but Garenham, Grave, Mountain Cave, etc. And he cleared a lot of that stuff looking for something. You know, I ended up doing a gold grind for the Silver Shield earlier, but just unfortunately didn't have a weapon in addition to not having the armor for a good 40 plus minutes, and that really hampered things.
Yeah, I feel like I raid ordered a lot of things there to, I mean, pick up, obviously the stones were free, but then you pick up the armor, you pick up the heart pretty quickly, you go turn that in, and then I got the token almost immediately after that in Grave, and I'm just like, oh well, I guess I don't need anything else, so I'm not opening other chests for the rest of the game.
Yeah, we noted that as well. It's like, oh, this seems to be like a challenge, see, where they're refusing to pick up the sword. But somehow you're still, like, grind and go, like, 25 minutes in? How does this work?
Yeah, that was the weirdest grind and go. I mean, it's like I'm there, I got it, and then there's nowhere to grind, right? I don't think I found the best grind by a long shot, right? The wraiths plus the hope and a prayer of a metal slime. It was decent, but it was, I mean, it wasn't the best.
Yeah, I think you did catch, what, 1 medal or 2? I saw 1 for sure.
I caught 2 medals, 1 crit, 1 chip. Honestly, the early one was big. It bumped me from 8 to 9, and that 255 just felt really good, and then the second one was what it was.
Oh my gosh, DK, this golem. Oh my gosh. DK did pick up level 20, made it all the way through Sherlock unscathed.
Oh no.
And the golem spike tile. He woke up and cast Heal More how many times?
I mean, does he not understand you just crit the golem and you're done?
Apparently. You just crit it for 112, clean up, and move on.
Yeah, you don't give him a chance to heal more.
I'm just disappointed they made me use the flute there.
You chose to use the flute there.
Oh, I tried not to, and then and I had a little surprise in play, but I wasn't about to mess around anymore with that golem. So I figured if I get him there, I'll go through. If not, I'm done anyway, so it don't matter. That was
You
fun.
just gotta 2-shot him and it's over, dude. That's all it is. Just crit and then swing again. You're done.
I did forget about the just crit strat. I did forget about that.
I had plenty of just critting today, so.
Yeah, my just crit seemed to always be on the 3rd or 4th swing of a green dragon instead of the first swing.
I had a series of green dragons. I think I killed 100 and something of them, but I had a series of 3 in a row where I crit them. 3rd swing, 2nd swing, 1st swing.
Oh, that's awesome. Took me almost 50 minutes to realize Rim was like 2 screens north of us.
That's what I heard from these guys. That's brutal. I had it at like 15, 18 minutes maybe.
Yeah, the very first time I went north there, I ran into a red dragon, and I just skirted around that zone the rest of the time.
Yeah, that was an interesting starting zone because we were exactly 16 tiles from the barrier. So one step northeast was 3 Sherlock enemies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I saw that pretty early. I ran into a gold man right on that very corner tile.
No, it was good. Good, well run race, but I'm sure both of us. And I'm sorry I had to take 3rd from you. I know you really, really, really wanted that shiny bronze slime, but it's mine.
You could absolutely have it. No, this was an interesting seed for sure, man. Everything was so spread out, and I absolutely last location jerk. I think I full cleared the map.
I almost full cleared the map. The one thing I didn't clear was beyond the Swamp South cave. That's the only thing I didn't clear before I got to jerk. And I don't know. That's probably that couldn't have been more than like 1 or 2 screens left.
Yeah, I didn't go north of it either, so there must. Yeah, it couldn't have been very far at all. But yeah, I checked all kinds of dead ends. That was I had a very good idea where it was when I needed it finally, though.
I'm just glad there was a green dragon in Hawks. This would have been brutal trying to grind on 55 HP anywhere else.
Yeah, agreed. There was one in Swamp South as well. So, but that was still a little bit of a walk around.
Yeah, I didn't even bother checking. I saw the one in Hawks, and so I'm like, I will spend the next hour here, and I wasn't wrong.
Now, what happened was I went to go check Hawks after getting up there, and an armor knight killed me. So the next time I went up, I went across that bridge before getting into there, and that's when I ran in the swamp and cleared all that crap. Because somehow my exploration took me to Garenham, and then after I did Garenham, I forgot about the cave next to it, and I just went straight north. So I found the Hawksness Cantland were the next 2 locations I found.
Real question is, did you talk to the radish vendor?
Hey, I got the radish vendor in. I talked to that mean lady in the back of Garenham. It was magical.
Tomatoes or no tomatoes today?
No tomatoes.
I'm glad that radish percent is living on, because this was 16 matches in the tournament for me, and I'm 16 for 16 on radishes. So
yeah, if I wasn't so low on keys, I was gonna go talk to those 2 guys behind the locked door too, but I think it was down to 2 keys, and I knew I would end up losing it.
They're too busy to talk to you anyways.
Now this was a blast, Lamu. I'm glad that we got to do this.
Yeah, great race. GG's. It was nice to play a totally normal, not changed at all race.
Yeah, last location in Breck was a little obnoxious for me.
I was getting worried there for a second. I saw every other town, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, if Breck doesn't have it, I'm just forfeiting.
Yeah, I was a little nervous by that as well.
It's a good question for you guys. What was the plan for this progressive weapon situation? What if there were a gap somewhere? What if something didn't have the pole, the club, the copper sword, something? Were you allowed to skip to the next thing, assuming you've checked everything and it doesn't exist? Or was that not discussed?
We just wanted to make sure we talked to the radish person. No, we didn't discuss that. But no, I had planned on just stopping wherever it went or trying to. But, a strength HP build that makes you go to level 20 to get viable strength and finally some decent HP.
No, I think we did talk about it. It's basically it was.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I was just rereading the note.
Yeah, say if we didn't have an item in the chain, it was over, and that's whatever you had is what you kept. So honestly, we were. Yeah, I mean, if Breckenary didn't have a pole, we were going fisticuffs with the Dragon Lord, which I wasn't gonna do. I didn't have 4 hours.
Yeah, it's disgusting for sure. So yeah, I was freaking out. I was tracking it all, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me! I've checked every one of these shops," and then it was finally there. I was like, "Finally, Breck is worthwhile."
Well, and the other rule that I don't know if anybody noticed, but the other rule was we can't cast Hurt More.
I cast it once on accident when I went to heal more and forgot that we just got it, but I didn't do it on an enemy, thank goodness.
That's true. We did note that you cast it on yourself outside of battle. So I don't. Okay, the stat screen says you cast it once, but I think we're gonna let it slide.
No, that's all right. I forfeit anyway, so I want to keep the integrity of the race here.
I appreciate that. I would have forfeited it as well if I'd casted this guy.
I also slept that daggone old man that gave me a flute in the freebie cave.
I thought about resetting the flute. I was probably 5 minutes from a save though, or more, so I didn't really want to, but I was so close.
Well, I've been up since 7 Eastern, so I'm going to get the heck out of here. Thanks, everybody, so much for this tournament. This was an absolute blast. Thanks for the commentators for staying up and doing this tonight, and Restreamer and Vinicus, I think, was tracker as well, so I appreciate you all. Good luck to Tilo and Angel in the finals. It should be a blast. I'm looking forward to it very, very much, and looking forward to whatever we get to do next.
Yeah, I'll echo those same comments. Thank you guys, everybody, for putting this on. Anybody that had any part of this thing, thank you guys so much. It means a lot to a lot of these runners, and it's been a ton of fun. And I say it every time. This is one of the best communities on Twitch. The one thing that I won't echo from you is no go Angel. We're taking Tilo and the Magic Drakies all the way for the 2-peat here. We're starting a dynasty.
All right, fair enough. Thanks to both of our runners for putting on a wonderful show for us. Again, some shenanigans with the challenge flags that they assigned themselves. Taking a look here at the upcoming schedule for those finals. Tilo versus Angel FM. Tilo going for the 2-peat. Angel looking to disrupt that. Game 1 scheduled for Wednesday? Next Wednesday evening, 9 p.m. Eastern, here on DW Randomizer. Game 2 on Friday, and then Game 3, if necessary, on Saturday. So look forward to that, everybody. Edgeworth, any closing thoughts before we wrap things up here tonight?
No, just GG to both of you. I'm glad a bamboo pole existed, and congrats on the bronze, Slamu.
All right, sounds good to me. So once again, GG's, and thanks to our runners, Big Slemu, dk9146. Thank you as well to my co-host here in the booth, Edgeworth, to Flower Power, our restreamer, to Venicus, our tracker for the race this evening, to all of you here in chat at DW Randomizer. Thanks for a wonderful race tonight. and a wonderful experience throughout the tournament. I won't be calling any of the races up here in the final, so this is my chance to do the same. Thanks to everybody, cast, crew, admin, participants, viewers, everybody. Thanks for making this a wonderful experience for us, for you, and for everybody as part of this community. So I think we're going to wrap things up here. And yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Enjoy the finals next week. And we'll see if we're headed somewhere post-race.